Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing? I am doing wonderful today. Today is September 29th, 2021, or September 29th, 5782. Y'all gonna have to excuse the little chirping that you hear in the background because that is my bird, Miracle. And I don't want to have to kick her out of my room, but I will. Anyway, so how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing wonderful. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I want to thank you guys for the responses and the emails and the comments on last week's video and podcast. We talked about rejection. We ended it off with part 2. So I thank each and every one of you for listening and just giving us some feedback. So, of course, I'm Coach K, a.k.a. Keisha Nicole of Kingdom Recovery Coaching. Coach J, my co-host, he's not here today. He is out in the field driving them trucks today. And so I will be doing this podcast and video by myself today, unfortunately. So, today, guys, I told y'all maybe a couple of weeks back, couple videos back, that we were going to get into Jezebel, which I have a lot of experience with her, being that I was born, and I come from a Jezebelonic, I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up, mother. I'm talking about way past narcissism, okay? Straight Jezebel, got Jezebel juice dripping all over her. That's my term, Jezzy juice, as I like to call it. Got Jezzy juice dripping all over her. I'm talking high-ranking demon worker of iniquity, straight up and down, okay? Hardened heart has not changed, won't repent, all of that. All right, y'all, so let's get into this thing, because a lot of people don't really understand or know or can identify when they're dealing with somebody who has a Jezebel spirit. I had never even heard of it, probably before 10 years ago, maybe, or 12 years ago. I didn't know what it was, because I'm not really from the church scene, so to speak, even though my mom sent us to Sunday school and church every Sunday. We didn't really learn nothing. I'm going to be honest. We went to Holy Trinity Baptist Church. I learned like the basics, like the Bible stories and things of that nature from Sunday school. But in church, all the preachers did was preach. They did not actually, teach the word. And they definitely didn't teach it in a way where you could learn how to apply it to your life. So it was just a lot of hooping and hollering and screaming. And being that I went and I really didn't want to go, so I definitely wasn't, open to receiving what was going on. But I didn't come from a church where they actually taught the word, where they broke it down and gave you life application. No. And whoever wants to argue with me, I'm not about to go back and forth with you, because that was my experience. That's my truth. So whatever. And my mom Jezebel don't go to church. But anyway, when the term was brought to me, was introduced to me, and then once I learned about her characteristics, who she was and stuff, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. This is very familiar. Too familiar, okay? And, God revealed to me that is what I was dealing with, unfortunately, within my... Well, actually, it's fortunately. You know what I'm saying? Because had I not dealt with all of that and going through all that I did with her and the rest of my family who was under her control and under her Jezebel spell, I don't know if I'd be the strong warrior woman of God that I am today. I might not be. Yeah, I might not be. So I'm grateful for every trial and tribulation, because now that I know, I can teach somebody else. Okay, so the title of this podcast and video, am I dealing with a Jezebel? I don't know. Maybe after this podcast, you'll be able to answer that question. If you didn't know before, hopefully you know after. And if I have to, we're going to take it into a part 2. I don't know. I got a lot of notes. Yeah, y'all know I got notes. Okay. Oh, wait, hold up. What are we doing? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so you can actually study more on Jezebel and really get into depth about her and reading about her in 1st and 2nd Kings. But I'm just going to, hit y'all with some tidbits about her, and then we're going to get into those characteristics, because that's the part that you really need to know. And that Jezebel spirit doesn't always just come through or operate through a woman. It operates through a man as well. From my experience, she normally shows up through women, but it does operate in the men. It has it don't discriminate. That's what I'm trying to say. Male or female. Okay. All right, so Jezebel, she was a Phoenician princess who worshipped Baal. I'm sorry, you pronounced his name wrong. She worshipped Baal. She was married to King Ahab. He was the king of Israel, but he was a punk to me. And then let me throw this in there. My mother's husband, which is my 2 younger sisters' father, operates in that Ahab spirit. And my younger sister operates in Jezebel's daughter, Athaliah, her spirit. So sometimes the 3 of them run in packs. Let me put that out. They run in a pack together. Jezebel, Ahab, and Athaliah. Okay, sometimes they operate together. In my particular situation, they do. And sometimes Athaliah can be worse than Jezebel. But anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself. She was a self-proclaimed prophetess. Truthfully, she was a witch. Okay, Jesus called out. Her marriage was a business deal, so Israel and Phoenicia would be friendly to each other. Ahab built her a place to worship Baal, bringing that demonic worship to Israel. She had lots of power and influence, and she was brutal, okay? She was a brutal queen. Yeah, because now once she married Ahab, she became a queen, but she was brutal. She ran God's prophets into a cave. The prophet Elijah, challenged her to see if her God, or if his God, which is our God, Yah, would burn a bull sacrifice on an altar. Obviously, her God lost, because there's no one higher than Yah, okay, the great I am, Elohim. And she set out to kill Elijah, and then he fled to the wilderness. So basically, she scared him off. She did. But Elijah did prophesy her death in the ending. So there was a situation where Ahab wanted to buy some dude's house or his vineyard. The dude was like, no. Ahab returns home depressed and whining to Jezebel. Oh, you want to sell it to me? So she decides to have the dude falsely accused of something, which led to his death. I didn't realize, I really didn't go back. I couldn't figure out what he was actually falsely accused of. And then after all of the, God put a hit out on Ahab, Jezzy, and Ahab's bloodline. So a few years later, she was taken out by Jehu. So basically he came to, he came going to step to her. And she got all made up and her little makeup and this is that and the other, and was standing on her balcony. And he told her servants to throw her over. And they did. His horses ran over her body and her flesh was eaten by dogs, which is what Elijah had prophesied. And so her body died. And we know that happens in the natural. The body will die, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the spirit dies. Hence, the Jezebel spirit. Okay, so let's get into these characteristics. Oh my gosh. And as I was looking at these before I even got here, I was just like, wow. It just a lot of, not everything, because not everything on this list, and I have 6 pages of characteristics. So not everything on this list is going to encompass one person, but you will probably find out that that individual is dealing with a majority of what's on this list. Number 1, Well, let's start over. Characteristics of the Jezebel spirit, okay? Number 1, refuses to admit guilt or wrong. A Jezebel spirit is never wrong unless it is temporary admittance of guilt to gain favor with someone. To accept responsibility would violate the core of insecurity and pride from which it operates. When a Jezebel apologizes, it is never in true repentance or acknowledgement of the wrongdoing, but rather, I'm sorry your feelings were hurt. That is so very true. That is something I definitely experienced with my mom. Never wanting to, she don't want to repent now. She don't want to apologize now for the things that she's done. You know, she'll pass it off on other people. She'll try to gloss over it and say, oh, we don't want to blame anybody. Yeah, actually we do. Well, not necessarily blame, but we would like for you to take accountability and responsibility. I remember when her mother passed and she took control over everything, all of my grandmother's, belongings and possessions, and myself, my aunt, and my uncle, which are her 2 younger siblings, received nothing. Okay? We didn't get a sock. We didn't get a shoe, a scarf, nothing. Okay? Now, if you know me and my grandmother's relationship, truthfully, she probably would have left me everything. Okay? We were just that tight and close. We did not get anything. Okay? But the memories in our mind. And when I confronted my mother about it, it was Mr. Walter. It was Pop. He didn't want you guys. He gave me everything and blah, 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 this and the other. Just never accepting responsibility for the fact you took it all. Don't lie, okay? You took the fixtures out of my grandmother's house and replaced them with the ones in your house because my grandmother had new stuff. She had to have new stuff. She was one of those kind of people. If something came out, she had to have it. Never admits wrong. Never apologizes for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. Number 2, takes credit for everything. Oh my God. While a strong trait of Jezebel is to never take responsibility for her wrong actions or behavior, and she is also quick to take credit for benefits for which she contributed no effort. Sorry. And then, you know what? Let me just go back, y'all. Let me go back to number 1. I want to give y'all another example, okay? When my son left, he went to Atlanta. Of course, my mother when I confronted her about it, oh, I didn't know. When I came home from work, he was there. Your father did it. I had no idea, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway, let's go back to number 2. Okay, number 2, takes credit for everything. I remember my mother was there when all of my children were born, except Jalen, because she had moved to Atlanta 5 months before he was born. So, but the other children, she was at the hospital. I think she was even in the room with everybody. Definitely was in the room with TJ, because his father was not there. Because remember, his dad said it wasn't his child. And she was definitely in the room with everybody else, I believe. But anyway, my point is, she took credit for everything. The baby looked like her. The baby was her. She just took all the credit. Like me and my husband had nothing to do with these kids. Especially Jayla, when Jayla was born. Because we were in more of a family type of birthing room situation. So like my oldest daughter was in the room, she was in the room, my husband was in the room, and as soon as the baby born, give her to me, it was like, my husband was like, could I have my child? She just took credit. Ain't had nothing to do with it, okay? Didn't help make the baby, ain't help take care of the baby, nothing, but it was her baby, and the baby looked like, she looks just like me. Girl, bye. All right. Number 3, uses people to accomplish its agenda. My God. The Jezebel spirit lets others do its dirty work. Jezebel gets another person's emotions stirred up, then lets the person go into a rage. Jezebel sits back, looking innocent, saying, "Who, me? What did I do?" This behavior makes it difficult for even the most ardent truth seekers to pin one down. This spirit is clever in its agenda. Now, Lord knows that's the truth. Again, just so reminds me of my mom. And I hate to keep making it seem like I'm picking on her, but she has been the one evil force in my life, like my entire life, my whole 42 years of living. She has been like the one evil force in my life, and she just embodies these characteristics to just a level that is just unreal, guys. I'm so serious. She literally had my whole family against me. That none of them told me where my son was. Not my oldest daughter, not my younger sister, not my baby sister, not cousins that knew, even cousins that knew on the Gatlin side, which is why I don't deal with them. And even one of them even messaged my son on Facebook at like 2 months or so after he left, knowing that I didn't know. She still never said anything to me about it. Thank you, Danae. I have the copy of the Facebook message and the date of it. Never said anything to me or whatever. She's a mom herself, has a son, never said a word to me. My mom literally got that Jezzy juice all over these folks, okay? And she's always been like that. She used to do the same thing with her brother, her baby brother. Manipulate him into doing things. And so basically she loves to throw rocks and hide her hand. I know it's not my mother. It's that spirit operating. That's what y'all got to remember, because we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. It's always the spirit in that person that's operating and working behind the scenes, okay? Operating through that person. So I know that it's not like her, but it's definitely that spirit in her that's operating in her that she's allowing to use her for the devil. Very clever and meticulous, okay? Very planned out, you know? Number 4, withholds information, which is a form of control. Jezebel wields power over you by knowing something you don't know in a situation. And the eyes of Jezebel, having information you don't have, is a powerful weapon of control. Again, not telling me where my son was and knowing that he was living in her house. You know what I'm saying? So that she could do what she wanted to do and use him how she wanted to use him. Probably was claiming the child on her taxes and all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Number 5, talks in confusion. Lord have mercy. I don't even, Number 5, talks in confusion. It is impossible to converse with a Jezebel in logic. One person wrote a 6-page letter to his elders about a situation in church. The context was so vague that no one was without confusion. This was a way to maintain control and domination. When confronted by a Jezebel, the subject may be changed 5 times in 1 minute. Confusion keeps them undiscovered and unexposed. That is so very true. That is so very true. I remember speaking to my mom one time, and the conversation went from, and this is a couple of years ago, so I think my son was here in Houston. He must have been here. And the conversation went from, hey, how you doing? Yes, he was here, because it was a conversation about masks. So this must have been at the beginning of COVID, because she works in a hospital, so she could get those K95 masks, those, you know, the real ones with the filter outside the mask. And she was asking me like, oh my God, you know, she had called, and I was like, I'm gonna answer the phone. Yeah, you know. And she was like, why didn't you guys call me for masks? Like, why would I call you for a mask? I don't even talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a weird question, but okay, I'm gonna roll with it. And so the conversation went from the mask and it went from TJ to, oh, well, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to play the blame game. I know you don't, Jesse. I know you don't want to play the blame game because then you know what I'm saying? Some things may be turned back on you. And then she went to this little crying fit. Why don't my grandkids call me? Oh, they don't never call me. You won't let them call me. Okay, y'all, let me see. This conversation happened last year, 2020. My kids was 16, 18, and 11. They all have their own cell phones. The two older ones pay for their own cell phones because they work. They're big enough and old enough to call you. And I actually explained that to her. Like, I don't stop anybody from calling you. They have their own phones that they actually pay for on the family plan. If they don't call you, it's their choice not to call you. Has nothing to do with me. That's another thing Jezebel's do, them crocodile tears. I'm listening like, girl, I am not moved. That's the way I was on the phone. Like, I am not moved. Okay. And like I said, the conversation just went from topic to topic to topic, just so she could try to confuse me and, like manipulate me, and then ain't working here, boo. I know your game. Number 6, volunteers for anything. A Jezebel volunteers in order to establish control. She seemingly has endless energy and eagerly looks for opportunities to be in charge of projects. Although she will work hard, her motive is never pure, and eventually her secret agenda cannot be hidden. That's another thing that I can say is very true in my mom. Always volunteering. Well, used to. See, I don't know how she is now because I haven't been in a real relationship with her. Well, it's never been a real relationship, but I haven't been in relationship with her in like 7 years or so, 8 years. But from previous times. But since she hasn't changed, I'm sure she's the same person. Always volunteering to be the one to cook so she can control the menu and, control who's coming and all that kind of stuff. She also volunteers a lot at work, but I'm sure it's for later on favors and to get some kind of gain and all that. And she is most certainly a hard worker now. I will say that about her, honey. Boo Boo will work, honey, okay? I'm talking about OT, come in early, days off, all of that now. My mom's work ethic is not to be played with. Straight up, 100, okay? Always been like that. Always held a job if she could, or kept a job. Well, other than that little period where she was in depression and stuff and had lost her job, but she is definitely a worker bee now. She don't play no games when it comes to work. She will put in those hours. She'll get it in. Okay. Number 7, lies. Whew, Lord have mercy. I could probably write a whole dissertation book on all the lies that she has told the people back and forth, especially within this family. Just lie after lie after lie after lie. My God. A Jezebel lies convincingly. No one can lie better than she can. Facts. She can turn on the charm and make you believe blue is red. She always fools those whom she's just met, while those who have been victimized by her tactics stand by helplessly. The fact that Jezebel can look you in the eye and lie just shows how strong and adamant this rebellious and recalcitrant spirit is. Wow. Because I'm thinking about all the times that I've confronted her about things that she's done and would sit there and lie in my face. It wasn't me. It was so-and-so. I feel attacked. Blah, 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 blah. Lies that she has told my grandmother. Oh, I sent Keisha's kids. I had to buy them all this stuff for Christmas. Ain't bought my kids nothing. Hardly, especially since we moved to Texas. Because after we moved here, it was more so out of sight, out of mind. I'm like, my grandmother's telling me this. Oh, your mom said she had to buy this, that, and the other. I was like, for who? She might have bought it, but she ain't sent it here. Okay? You can ask the kids that. They'll tell you didn't get nothing from her. Lying when she said Pop Gave her everything. I don't believe that man. And me and Pop was close, okay? It was me, him, and my grandmother and my husband. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Just using him because he was old and he liked to drink. You know what I'm saying? Just lie, lie, lie. Wow. And very charmed. Let's go back to that. She can turn on the charm and make you believe blue is red. My mom could sell salt to a slug. A lifetime supply of salt at that. That's how good, okay? She's one of them talkers, baby, like a fast talker. And she's just like her dad, very charismatic, very charming and charismatic, and you know, have to be like the center of attention, you know, like the star of the room and all this kind of stuff, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Number 8, ignores people. A classic ploy of a controller is to ignore you when you disagree with her. This tactic is frequently used by leaders when someone doesn't agree with their plans and they isolate the person by ignoring them. Some in these situations have been ignored for months just because they chose not to be a puppet and say yes to every idea or whim. This puts the person out of the leader's grace and forces them to either come around to the leader's way of thinking or indefinitely be ignored. One is not free to disagree with a controller. That's very true. My mother doesn't. That's one of the reasons why we definitely don't get along. Because I'm not getting ready to go with your foolishness at all. See, I'm not going to be controlled by no human. Never was going to be. Okay? And she does have a PhD in ignoring. That was something that irked me so bad growing up, is when she didn't like something I did or when she was upset with me. Especially, I remember specifically when I got pregnant with my daughter at 16. My mom ignored me so bad, and that's where I get it from. And it's something I have to watch. She can ignore you so bad that you will doubt your own existence. And I get that from her. And so I have to watch myself on that note. There are a few things I have to watch. That's why I got to do heart checks several times a day, every single day. Like, I can't miss no heart checks. No, period. Several times a day, every day. Because I know that those little characteristics, they're there. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to watch that and combat those things. Because I have that ability too. I can ignore you. I can just go right into Keisha world, okay? Because it's real funny in Keisha Nicole world anyway. She be crafting, be coloring her hair, she be creating stuff, doing all the thinking, playing. I can go right into my world like you ain't even there. While you talking, you probably stabbing yourself, bleeding, falling out on the ground, and I still be in my world. Because, and that's also like a learned behavior. My mom ignored me so much. And it used to make me feel like nothing. You actually used to make me feel like shit, if I could just be real about it. And I don't even like to cuss like that no more. Used to make me feel like shit, like I wasn't nothing. Seriously. You would ignore me so bad. Just walk in the house, act like I wasn't there, do what she did, talk to everybody else when she did talk. And would not say a word to me. And I'm not just talking about for like a week. Okay? No. This will go on for several weeks or months at a time. Like, seriously. Just crazy. Crazy, okay? Crazy. It could give you mental health issues. Seriously. Somebody ignoring you like that could give you mental health issues. Mental and emotional health issues. Number 9, never gives credit or shows gratitude. A Jezebel will rarely acknowledge another person's actions, not even for something that turned out to greatly benefit Jezebel. She cannot bring herself to say thank you or to acknowledge that someone else did something right. There are those who have gone out of their way to bless a Jezebel by being the catalyst of sending her on a trip or giving a gift. Yet, never will there be a thank you. This again puts the controller in a position of power. And I would have to agree with that, absolutely. My mom hardly ever said thank you for anything. And let me tell you this. One year when I was living in Atlanta, I don't remember what year it was. I just remember it was the Super Bowl. Okay. And she had got arrested on the DUI or DWI, whatever. And we had like gone to the jail thing, to the jail. What am I saying? And, you know, was going back and forth, you know, trying to get her out, blah, blah, blah. I was so shocked and surprised. That next day, was it that night? No, I think it was the next day. Because, like, she didn't get out till, like, really late. Maybe we didn't see her, whatever. And I'm grown, got my own kids in house and, you know, all this other stuff. That next day, I was so shocked and surprised that she actually said thank you. She was like, thank y'all for coming to try to get me out, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know, is the world about to crack? Like, what's going on? I was so shocked and surprised that she thanked us for doing that. She may have even felt bad, y'all. Like, maybe like 2%. Because she ruined Super Bowl Sunday for us, by the way, that year. For everybody. But, yeah, she said, I was like, whoa. Whoa. Okay. Number 10. Woo, criticizes everyone. Well, honestly, though she mostly criticized me, but this is a characteristic of control. She has to be the one who looks good, so she will quickly, sharply criticize anyone who makes a suggestion or plan. Even though she likes the plan, she can only criticize it because the idea did not come from her. Criticizing others elevates the controller in her mind. Now, my mom only really criticized me. Why your kids don't have TVs in their room? Why you let them draw on the wall and write on the wall? And this is a real big one. When my husband bought me my first house, okay, so I remember this so well, y'all, because see, I went to closing on my birthday, December 26, 2006, okay? Went to closing on my birthday when I got my first house. It was a Christmas birthday gift. I will accept the house for a double gift, and it was from my husband. But anyway, I went to closing on my birthday. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Now, I got to pick my house out, though. Okay? And it did look like a little crack house. But I could see the vision of it when I walked in. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to redo this. I'm going to put these floors out. I'm going to redo this. It did look bad. But it was a nice sized house. The person who had lived there before, you know, had a bunch of kids. So it had like all these extra rooms and stuff. And, you know, it was a family of 6 at that point. And so anyway, do y'all know that my mother did not come in? Now, everybody else in the family came, my aunt, you know, everybody came, looked at my house or whatever, congratulated us, you know, blah, blah, blah. My mother did not come and look at my house for like 5 weeks. You know what her excuse was? Oh, I've been so busy. I had to work, da, 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 blah, blah. Okay. She was working at Children's Hospital of Atlanta. Okay, cool. You did work at a hospital. And I think she had another job too, matter of fact. A part-time job in that. Okay, cool. Hurt my feelings to the core. Okay? Took her 5 weeks to come look at my house and congratulate me. Okay. Then when she got there, she picked out everything that was wrong with my house. Everything. Okay? As if we didn't know that our house was a foreclosed house and it looked terrible. And everything in the house needed to be redone. We knew that when we bought the house, but that was the house I wanted, okay? I saw the vision when I walked in that door. The real estate agent didn't see the vision. Jay didn't want that house. He wanted another house that was already finished and done. I was like, nope, this is it. I want this house. I can just see it. He couldn't see it. The real estate agent couldn't see it, but that's what I wanted. Y'all, she dogged my house out. She dogged my house out from A to Z. And y'all need to do this. Oh, and this needs to be changed, blah, blah, blah. While she was living in an apartment. Had never owned a house a day in her life at that point. In 2006. Well, now it's 2007. By the time she got there. But had never owned a house a day in her life. Tore mine to shreds. But anyway. And she criticized other people too. Why they doing that? Why they doing that? But mostly, you know, it was me. Okay. Number 11. One-upmanship. A person with a Jezebel spirit will always upstage another person. She feels threatened by anyone who dares to steal the limelight. or anyone who is a threat to her power and control. If you are such a person, if you are with such a person and tell them your accomplishment and victory, you can be assured she will quickly tell something she accomplished or did. Very, very true. I remember someone asking me, like, if something happens to you, something great happens, who's the first person you're gonna call? My answer was my husband. He's always been the first person. I would never call my mom because I have learned from calling her in the past when something would happen. She didn't always necessarily one-up me, but she would just be like, oh, she was never happy or excited or anything. So I would never call her if something positive and great happened in my life. Like, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Number 12, sequesters information. Oh, yes, because Jezebel loves to be in control of information, honey, so she can use it as it's a form of control for her. If there is ever a situation where information is important, she will push to be the first to know it. Yes, and she has done that a lot, even with my children. Like, why y'all don't do this? Why y'all like just trying to be all up in me and my husband's business, but she too scared and afraid to come and ask me about it because she know I'm gonna give her that pushback. And asking my kids in roundabout ways, and they would come back and tell me, oh, mama asked this, mama asked that. Now they kids, they don't know what she's trying to do, what she's trying to accomplish, but I knew. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, cool. Let's see. She seems to know everything about everyone. Absolutely. Because she had to be the one. I remember even one time she was like, when I lived in Atlanta, she was going to tell, and my husband, I wish he was here to confirm this for me, y'all. She going to tell me and my sisters, I think we were like trying to be sisters or whatever. But anyway, that, I wanted y'all to be close, but I don't want y'all to be close without me. I don't think the parents are supposed to be in the actual sibling relationships. Like, I don't think it's not supposed to be like the siblings and then the parent in there. No. I don't think it works like that. I've never really had it, but I don't think it works like that. And like, what parent says that? I want y'all to be close, but not with me not in it. Like, that is absolutely crazy. Like, there's just some things that I guess parents are not supposed to know that siblings it's a sibling thing. You know what I'm saying? Let them be siblings. Anyway, where she gets all her information is beyond comprehension, but she can dictate to you data and details about people's lives and actions in mass quantities. Let me also say that some people with that Jezebel spirit into witchcraft, okay? And they teleport their little bodies and their spirits up into people's spaces and things. Like, you better watch that witchcraft as well, because Jezebel and witchcraft go together, okay? Like sister and brother. Let's move on to 13. Uses information. Okay. So don't think she's or he is sequestering that information for no reason. There's always an agenda behind everything they do. They don't do nothing, okay, without an agenda. And I know I seem like all kind of like fired up about what I'm saying, is because I'm serious. Y'all need to pay attention and get these tidbits and these tips and observe folks, okay? Especially if you're dealing with somebody with that Jezebel spirit. I don't care if it's your mama. She don't do nothing without an agenda, okay? I know mine don't. She might be doing it now in September of 2021, but I guarantee you, she'll be using it for something in 2022. It may not show up now, it'll show up later. I'm telling you. Watch it. Okay, where we at? 13, uses information. A Jezebel uses information as a leverage for power, and then shares tidbits with you. That's right, only giving you what she feel like you need to know. Because it's about what? Control. The two biggest things I know about Jezebel, other than witchcraft kind of off to the side, control and manipulation. And often things told to her in confidence. I would never tell my mother any secrets. Never, ever in life. This gives her a sense of power, even to the point of trying to impress people by knowing things that other people don't know. Trying to be a show-off, know-it-all. Man, have I seen that in action so many times. Oh my God. 14, talks incessantly. Whew. My mom talks so much, she'll give you a shower. Or let's spit just attacking you. Because she don't shut up. But it's another thing about, you know, I told you she got that salesman type of thing. You know how it tells the salesman, car salesman, that's what I say, the car salesman, you know, they just talk that talk, boy, they talk that talk to get you up in there and buy that car, you know. Talks incessantly. Many people talk habitually, but Jezebel uses talking as a form of control. It's like so she could be the top dog, yo. In a typical conversation, she does all the talking, whether it's about sports, weather, the kingdom of God, it don't matter. Because this is a form of control, she is unable to receive input from anyone in her life. All conversation with her is one-sided. You doing all the listening. Facts. Or if you do say something, baby, she got to come back for you real quick. Ain't had to think about it, nothing. You like, here she go, boop, 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 right on top of you. And it has to speak to everybody. Hey, how you doing? Has to have a conversation with everybody. You know what I'm saying? It has to be seen. Got to be the light of darkness. But because it's showing Jesus' light. But yes. 15. Spiritualizes everything. When a controller is confronted, she commonly spiritualizes the situation, explaining it off on God. This prevents her from owning up to responsibility required of her. The implication is, you've got a problem, I don't. Now, I've never necessarily experienced my mom spiritualizing anything with God. I don't even know that she knows him or ever knew him. Okay, she didn't go to church. She wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And when she did, she was more like a pew warmer. You know, like a bench warmer. One of those guys on the professional basketball teams that make like a million or 2 million a year, but they never come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? She's more like a bench warmer anyway. But her attitude was or is like, oh no, that's your situation, not mine. Oh no, that happened to you, not me. 16 is insubordinate. Ooh-wee. A Jezebel never takes the side of an employer or a person in authority unless it is a temporary action to make herself look good. She often will take credit for somebody else's idea. Facts. Her main desire is for power and control. Power, control, and manipulation. Let me throw that power in there because I said manipulation and control, but power, control, and manipulation. There is no conscience when an opportunity for recognition presents itself. Very insubordinate. And let me say this, when my kids were growing up, well, they're still growing up, but when we lived in Atlanta, and even now, they don't have TVs in their rooms. I don't know, y'all, I'm just different. I just feel a need for it. Like, why you need a TV in the room? There's a TV in the den. And if you want to watch something, y'all just better compromise and figure it out. You watch it first, you watch it, it don't matter. You don't need a TV in your room. Besides, I'm not buying, it's 5 of them. You talking about a TV in my room, the den, you know, a TV and all. That's like 7 TVs, man. We don't need all that. One year, my mom decides she gonna buy my kids TVs. Like, dude, I told you, my kids don't have TVs in their room because I don't want that. I'm their parent. I'm setting the rules. It's my house. My house. It's 2462 Mistletoe Lane. That was my address in Atlanta. It's my first house. I missed that house, y'all. I redid that. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I miss my house. It's sentimental. But anyway, yeah, just gonna send my kids some TVs for Christmas. I'm like, straight disrespecting and disregarding the rule for my house. Okay, crazy. All right, and another thing, one time she was gonna take all my kids. Her and Dad were getting one of those RVs. Well, they actually rented an RV, taking them on vacation, whatever, for a whole week. And my oldest son had did something in school, like real bad. And I was like, yo, he can't go on the trip. Like, he has to be punished. You know, it has to have some consequences behind this situation. Do you know that she said, well, if he can't go, we ain't taking nobody? So she was ready to ditch the trip for all the other kids, including my nephew Cam, So it would have been 5 of them, because my other 4 in Siobhan's son, so that my oldest son could go. But again, it wasn't so he could go. It was about power, manipulation, and control. Seriously, I'm telling you, that spirit is something else. Something else. Yeah, now, I did let him go, because I was dead set on it. But my grandmother, God rest her soul, got involved, and I decided to let him go. But had they not gone, you know, she would have blamed that whole thing on me. She would have, because that's the type of person she is. Okay, let's move it on. 17 is pushy and domineering, which that was kind of a situation right there. It's pushy and domineering. Boom, I gave you the situation before we even got to number 17. That's my favorite number. Number of victory, yes. A person with the Jezebel spirit pressures you to do things, okay? Seemingly ripping you from your right to choose or make a decision for yourself. Hot dog. Y'all see how I was on it? I didn't even know that was number 17. I hadn't even kind of re-looked over my notes. She makes others feel as though they don't have enough sense to make a decision for themselves. Yo, I just gave y'all the perfect example. How she pushed me into that and tried, again, power, control, and manipulation. Y'all, I got so many situations. Number 18, clairvoyant. I'm sorry. Many who operate with the spirit of control also have a clairvoyant spirit. A Jezebel has supernatural help in knowing and sensing information. I told y'all, Jezebel and witchcraft go together. If she uses this against you, she may say, I can't tell you how I know this. I just know it. This is not the Holy Spirit, but the help of a clairvoyant or familiar spirit. Clairvoyance may be defined as a power to perceive things that are out of the human range or senses. Now, I can't necessarily say that I know that my mom is clairvoyant. I can tell you that she's very, very smart. Her mind works. I don't know how to describe it. My mind works a lot like that, though, to be very honest. So it would be hard to describe the way my mind works. Because for years I always said my brain works backwards. I could learn things backwards, even math. It's just, yeah. But she's very, very like, I don't know how to articulate it, y'all. So I really can't say she's clairvoyant, but, because I haven't experienced that, but I'm not going to say she's not either. Okay. Let's say that. 19, uses the element of surprise. A Jezebel's main thrust is to be in control, and a large part of control is catching you off guard. And therefore, the element of surprise works well when she shows up a day early for a meeting. I would say she does have an element of surprise to her, but I'm probably sure there's some instances, guys. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head. But let's go to number 20. Sow seeds of discord. My God, Jesus. A Jezebel will continually belittle another person in the most subtle way. That person would be me. The strategy is to gain control by minimizing the value of another person. It is common for her to tell half-truths, which are basically lies, to implicate another person in your eyes. So basically, you're just trying to turn that person against you. By sowing these seeds, she hopes to eventually reap a harvest of destruction, improving her position of power, not realizing that she's digging a ditch for herself that she's going to fall in. I would definitely say my mom sows seeds of discord. My grandmother did that as well. She would start crap between people in the family and then turn around and be like, oh, I just want you guys to get along and come to my house and eat Sunday dinner. But she would run back and tell this one what this one said and this, that, and the other, instead of being a real matriarch and settling disputes and saying, hey, you don't need to be talking about this person, or you shouldn't be doing that. You need to look at yourself. Like, no, she didn't do that. Unfortunately. And I loved her very, very much, but I'm not going to lie about who she was. I'm not going to lie about what she did or did not do. She sowed a lot of seeds of discord, and In turn, my mom does as well. That is one of the reasons why this family is so broken up, because of so many seeds of discord. That's why my relationship with my oldest daughter is not where it should be and where it once was. Because once my mom got in the mix, that Jezzy juice is powerful, y'all. I'm telling you. It's so powerful. It's stronger than any alcohol, any vodka, whiskey, gin, tequila, brandy, rum. If I'm missing anything, any of those. Stronger, okay? Stronger than 151. Stronger than Everclear, okay? Stronger than any of that stuff. So yeah, of course. That's why so many families have broken relationships, because of seeds of discord. You would think, or I would think, that my mother's the oldest woman in our DNA group, because I no longer can call them family. And you would think that she would try to bring her family together, that she would try to reconcile everybody and settle disagreements and this, that, and the other, but absolutely not. She loves it broken up like this. She loves people not talking to each other, because then she's not exposed. But I can tell you right here and right now, the devil is a liar, because that will not happen in my family with my children. Absolutely not. Not the ones that I have a relationship with. And I know my relationship with my daughter will be restored, all in God's timing, which will be real soon. Okay, because restoration is here for me and my family in every area. But I'm not about to let that go down. In Jesus' name, it's just not going to happen on my watch. Period, point blank. Even when my sons get into it now. Absolutely not. We're not doing it. We're not doing the physical fighting. We're not doing any of that. Like, y'all can talk what y'all want to talk, but nobody's not putting no hands on each other. You can be upset for your little time and take your time and go to your corner, but y'all better come back and apologize to each other. Y'all better come back and reconcile and make it right. Period, point blank. I'm not going to have it no other way. And my grandkids going to do the same thing, and so forth and so on. But that's just me, y'all. That's just me. That's just me. All right, guys. We're going to stop here. Yes, I'm going to stop here, and there's going to be a part 2 to this. We stopped at number 20. Yeah, and I do have a few more that I want to go through. So I am going to do a part 2 to, am I dealing with a Jezebel spirit? Okay, because I want y'all to be, is that my title? Yes, am I dealing with a Jezebel? I'm sorry. I want y'all to be equipped. I want you guys to be able to be empowered. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to be able to, I want someone to come in your midst, and within 2 minutes, you know, okay, hold on. I done heard this. I done heard these characters. I done seen this somewhere. Wait, whoa. You know what I'm saying? No more shall you be fooled by this conniving, evil, powerful, but not powerful, more powerful than God, controlling and manipulating spirit. No more. Jezebel dies, and now in the name of Jesus, okay, we cutting her head off, okay, period, point blank. And she's not going to be continuing to just ravage our families anymore. Like, for me, she dead, period. You understand what I'm saying? She's dead, period. Okay, I broke that curse in that stronghold. She ain't gonna keep living over here. Now my sisters and my sisters got out. They can do what they want to do. I don't have no control over that. I pray that one day, you know, God touches their hearts and their minds, and they come up out of that foolishness. But the buck stops here, as far as I'm concerned, with me and mine and my bloodline. Those that are coming, you know what I'm saying, from me. We ain't doing it. So anyway, there will be a part 2. I just love y'all so much. I pray God's blessings over your lives. I decree and declare increase, excess, access, abundance, and overflow, and restoration and manifestation in your life in the name of Jesus. I pray that you all have a wonderful week. If you need to get in contact with us, the email is kingdomroarradio@gmail.com. If you need counseling or recovery support services. You can reach me at www.kingdomrecoverycoaching.com. I hope I've covered everything. I probably need to write notes on these things, guys. I'll be trying to come up in here and get y'all this word, get y'all this information. But yeah, I think that's it. So y'all just have a great week. I'll see you next week. I love y'all so much. God bless you. May the Lord answer one of your prayers this week. In Jesus' name, peace.